Hi, Dr. Tiffany.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. We're getting some weather here in Colorado.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's coming through in a big way, like big storms. Big storms.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But I feel like, ours is coming too over here in Alabama with all this cold weather after it was hot. They got to pick a side.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
hi, folks. Welcome to our live stream. My name is Jim, and I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I love saying that I used to be a type 2 diabetic because I used to be one. And I know that people don't hear that every day of the week, right? People are, did he just say he used to be? Yeah,
hmm
I used to be a
hmm
type 2 diabetic. So what that means is I've reversed it. If you don't like the word reversal, use the word remission. I don't particularly care for the word cure, but at the end of the day, my endocrinologist said that I reversed it and I didn't have to take medications anymore. So however you want to word it, I just don't have it anymore. And I love doing live streams and telling people exactly what it is that I do to achieve that. And I went to TikTok and started talking a lot about the Feel Great system, and it's absolutely been the craziest ride, Dr. Tiffany. I believe I've helped no fewer than 100 people reverse type 2 diabetes as well, and it's a thing. It's a movement.
hmm
And along the way, I have met some absolutely amazing people. And at the very top of that list is Dr. Tiffany.
I know. I know.
I'll have to check in the mail, send it me. I'll send you my address. No, I'm just
No, but the reality is, yes, that's exactly what happened. And, I was really just doing what every other doctor does, a family practice doctor, practicing regular practice, doing urgent care, doing telemedicine. I was the one that literally would say, oh, your sugar's high. You have diabetes. You have high blood pressure. You have high cholesterol. That was my job, right? And unfortunately, I had to give that bad news. And the first thing we know to do, first thing we have a lot of experience with is giving you a prescription. We knew about lifestyle changes, but the reality is I stopped believing in it. I'm just going to speak for me. I can't speak for every doctor. I didn't see the results. I didn't see people make the lifestyle changes. So it became maybe that's not even going to help. And so I got caught up in the medication meal, giving medications for this. And then next thing I know, my patients are 40s, 50s with a big old bucket of medications. And I said, that is not about to be me. So there had to be something else. And so I have a friend who was in lifestyle medicine, and I learned about that specialty and went back to school, studied, became certified in lifestyle medicine along with family medicine. And then I turned around and decided, I want something else. Let me do metabolic health certification because, we like to keep learning, right? I started screaming from the rooftops about these lifestyle changes. And that's how I got connected with our mutual friend who was talking about, well, have you heard of any natural products to help what you're trying to do? And I was like, absolutely not. I know about going after the root cause of conditions, but I don't know how to keep my patients consistent, how to make it sustainable, how to make it not something they do for a month and then fall off the wagon. But that's one good thing that we found with these products is that's what we can see. That's what we see. That's how you're able to see people reverse their type 2 diabetes like Jim here, or my mom actually getting down to pre-diabetes, or my brother getting off his insulin, and me get off my blood pressure medicine, stuff that's unheard of. So to think we have to take medications forever, not true. And here we are telling the world about it.
So Dr. Tiff, I got to assume that you were a skeptic just like me when you first heard about this. It seems too good to be true.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
and a big part of my skepticism was the simplicity of it. I mean,
Mhm.
it's really, it's, it's simple. That's the biggest thing is it's not like, and I'm a big fan of the ketogenic diet and I'm a big fan of the carnivore diet. I'm a big fan of those diets, but they're challenging and they're really difficult to sustain.
Mhm.
And if you're a vegetarian, the vegetarian diets they're difficult to sustain. And
Yeah.
what I've noticed just through my experience is that people stick with this because it's really really easy.
Yes. Mhm. Mhm.
So here's the deal. If you've been invited, if you got a notification that, hey, this live stream was here, a friend of yours tagged you in it, and you got notified that this live stream was happening, that means they think that this system could benefit you and they think you should listen. So here's the deal. We're only an hour long. It's an hour long, and most of it's Dr. Tiffany and some amazing guests telling their stories. So stick around for the hour. this 60 minutes might just be what changes your life. And it's profound to think of like that, but it really could just be the 60 minutes that changes the direction of your life. So stick around, listen to it, ask questions. If you are a person who is having an amazing experience and you want to tell your aunt or your mom or somebody about it, this is the perfect time to do it. Put them in front of Dr. Tiffany. Put them in front of some amazing testimonials. How do you do that? The way you do it is type the word or that little @ symbol thing and then start typing their name. When their name pops up, hit enter and they'll get a notification the next time they log into Facebook. And to that, this is also being streamed out to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, D Live, TikTok. Yeah, it's going out to a lot of them. Literally goes out and week in, week out, we have thousands upon thousands of people watching this live stream. It really is. It's been an amazing thing, Dr. Tiffany. I've really enjoyed doing this with you for it's almost been a year.
I know.
Okay, well, so here's how this goes. The general format is we bring in a testimonial, somebody to tell their story, kind of what this has done for them. And these testimonials, week in, week out, they're, you've got they cover the entire spectrum. It's really cool. And so week in, week out, we've got different testimonials. So come and listen to them. But I want to go ahead and introduce Stacy here. Let me get her in here. Oh, looks like she stepped away from her desk. Okay.
Okay.
Buy a little time. Okay. That's adapt and overcome. Oh, there she is. There she is. There she is. Hey, Stacy. Okay. Let's do this.
I don't know.
Can you hear us? Stacy?
Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know if you can. My internet's awful, I guess. What's going on?
I can hear you now.
I can't hear anyone.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can't.
Oh shoot.
Okay.
Yep. Go ahead.
I guess I'll start talking and you can wave me. I can't tell if you can hear me or not. Hi, I'm Stacy. Thumbs up. Should I just?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what to do. I'm Stacy. I'll just start talking and just stop me if I can't go. So, testimony. I guess you just want to know my beginning story of what brought me here. I guess. So I'm 50 years old. Menopause was awful for me, and it just wasn't. And I couldn't get any help. And I don't know if I'm frozen. I couldn't get any help from anyone, and they wouldn't give me for my menopause symptoms due to my high blood pressure. No. Okay. And I had IBS for 19. My depression was control. My anxiety was awful. I kept putting on weight. I couldn't stop eating. Which was all the time trying to get answers. Just tell me, sorry, it's IBS, like nothing. And then they would tell me, well, I can't do this, or they'd give me medication, bipolar, because I'm impulsive, but I'm also an alcoholic, and they knew that. So it's like I didn't know what to do. I knew I wasn't bipolar because I've been to every kind of counseling. Never once was I diagnosed with that, but I tried the medicine and I decided, you know what, this is not for me. Lose it. And if you heard any of that,
Keep going.
Did you hear anything?
Yes. Can she not see us, Jim?
How many bars are on my? See anything? So I'm like trapped. I feel like I'm in a tunnel. Okay, I'm going, I guess. Okay, so I started the protocol. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't tell if you can hear me. I can't see any. In June of last year, and actually in July of last year, I'm looking through TikTok, and I found someone talking protocol, and they were talking about how they made some changes, and in no time at all, I was feeling amazing. I lost my IBS of 19 years of IBS, 19 full years, were gone in 2 weeks, and I ended up down 30 pounds after menopause. I have no more symptoms of menopause. I have no more depression. I have no more anxiety. I no longer crave sugar, and I'm a sugaraholic, and I no longer crave alcohol, and I'm an alcoholic. So just so many benefits. This just changing my food intake has absolutely changed my life. And I just come on here and I want to tell people about it because I literally was end and I didn't know what I was going to do. And 50, I was like, kept putting on the LBs and getting bigger and craving more food, stop eating, and I can't lose weight. And I'm like, what in the world is going on with my body? Like me, I have never weighed this in my life. I had a mom bod. I was infertile, probably due to my insulin problems. I don't know. Too late now. I'm after menopause. But the changes that have happened in my life are amazing. And I just wish I would have found this sooner. I wish I would have listened to clean eating sooner. Because basically that's what we're doing. We clean eat. And it's amazing for your body. The foods we're putting in are just hurting us.
I've never thought of it like clean eating.
This is awkward for me.
That is profound. Clean eating is profound. Can you hear me at all, Stacy? And
that's what we're doing is clean eating. And I heard about clean eating, and I was like, I can't now.
That is crazy. Okay. Stacy, I think we got about 85% of what you said, but I think the gist of it was covered. I think we heard just about everything.
Okay.
I would like to
I'm sorry.
I would like to keep you no. I would like to keep you around though and bring you back out after the live stream's over to answer any questions in case somebody has any questions directly for you. Will that work? You good with that? Okay, she can't hear. Okay. All right, here we go. Dr. Tiff, it's going to be that way. It's going to be that way today.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I know Stacy's story. She no longer has the irritable bowel syndrome. Her skin has improved. The depression has lifted. It's just been an amazing story. Absolutely amazing story. So, yeah. Why, doctor? Talk to us. What exactly is the problem here? She just said insulin. She's talking about right there.
Yeah. Well, if anybody can understand what this is like when your internet throws you off, I most certainly can. So first off, the big thing we're talking about metabolic health. Okay. And so in the center of metabolic health is insulin resistance. And so in this right here, there's a representation of a Tufts University study that said that 93% of Americans are actually struggling with their metabolic health. They actually have poor cardiometabolic health. That's the stuff that's taking us out of here, y'all. Only 7% of Americans are actually walking around healthy. That means so many people don't even know they have trouble. You have 1 in 3 adults that have metabolic syndrome. That's this whole metabolic health issue. And then you have the most prescribed medication in the, in the country that we're doing, those are statins. We're doing that to decrease cardiovascular risk, but they only decrease the risk by 1%. Now, if you actually make the lifestyle changes, you can improve by 39%. That's that clean living that Stacey's talking about. And so when you take a snapshot of diabetes, and this is diabetes as a whole, but type 2 diabetes has actually risen so significantly that this almost becomes a term just for type 2. Type 1 isn't nearly as prevalent as type 2 now. And so 30.3 million are running around with diabetes, and that's 1 out of every 10 people. And then 1 out of every 4 don't even realize they have it, okay? And then we have pre-diabetes. And we have pre-diabetes. Where 1 out of 3 adults have pre-diabetes and 9 out of 10 don't know they have it. And then there's heart disease. Now, what's annoying with this is that this is still the number 1 killer. I mean, it started being the number 1 killer years ago. And we did that whole low-fat eating, that fat-free stuff with all those extra carbs, and it did nothing. Yes, people stopped smoking, thank goodness, but it still did nothing. This is still the number 1 killer. Why is that? Okay. And so, like I was saying earlier, I was practicing medicine just the traditional way. And my people started looking at like this lady over here, like they're going on a weekend getaway when they would come see me in the office. Right. And so I went after the root causes of conditions. So that's really our lifestyle. And so I like to think of our lifestyle, or better yet, our genetics, as land we're gifted. Right. And so if you till that land well, you can yield some great crops like this over here on the right. Right. But if you do a horrible job at taking care of that land, you can really just have barren looking land, right? That's the same thing with our genetics. We aren't bound by those genetics. So making these lifestyle changes can change your life. And so over half of all adults have insulin resistance. And this is a global database documentation, really. And in the middle of insulin resistance is type 2. I mean, in the middle of is insulin resistance, but around are all the conditions that are part of metabolic health. Diabetes, heart disease, cancer, fatty liver, PCOS, erectile dysfunction, depression, all those things are actually linked to insulin resistance. And so the symptoms of insulin resistance, it's important to understand, what does this look like before my numbers actually go up? What does this look like? What do I need to be looking out for? Well, wear the skin tags, because that's actually a sign of having too much insulin, making those skin tags. That's where that's coming from. If you have more than 5 or 6 of those, that's from insulin resistance. Those dark patches on the neck, that's not dirt. That is overgrowth of skin cells. And then cravings for sugar and salty, because literally your cells aren't getting the insulin inside them, because I'm going to get to that. So those cells are actually feeling hungry. That's giving the brain fog with the insulin resistance of the brain. Anxiety, depression, being fatigued, especially after meals, the itis, that is not a natural phenomenon. Just because you had a whole bunch of carbs doesn't mean you're supposed to take a nap afterwards. And then polycystic ovarian syndrome, the leading cause of infertility with women, erectile dysfunction, and, the man boobs. And then what's even crazier is that insulin resistance plays a role even with the thyroid disorder. That conversion of those active hormones for thyroid disease is actually affected by insulin resistance. And by improving insulin resistance, you can get that to improve. So what is insulin resistance? Now, first off, insulin is a hormone, and we have this hormone. We don't have to give it to ourselves exogenously outside. But what happens is people with type 2 diabetes over time, they need more insulin. At least that's how it's being treated, right? But the issue isn't that they don't have it. It's because they become resistant to it. Your type 1 diabetics actually need it because they don't have it. Now, insulin's job, it has many jobs, but I'm going to look at this job: delivering energy into the cells, the glucose into the cells. And then it will store that excess energy, that excess glucose, as fat. So it helps to regulate blood sugar levels. So your insulin here is this little picture of this black person here, right? And it's literally trying to push glucose into the liver, the muscle, and the fat cells. Well, over time, it can't really push. Yes, it's that day. Over time, it can't really push that into the cells. Your cells start to become resistant to it. And reason why that happens is too much insulin in the bloodstream. And how do we get too much insulin? That's our body releasing too much insulin because of what we're eating. So our carbohydrates, this is a macronutrient, it gets broken down into glucose a lot more than your proteins or your fat. Your fat barely gets broken down into glucose. Your protein, a little bit. And back on that graph, what we saw was about 3/4 of the people in the world actually eat a lot of carbohydrates. So that's why that's important. So if you look at this little graph here, when you wake up in the morning, your insulin level is at its lowest because you've been fasting all night, unless you get up in the middle of the night and snack, okay? And if you have your breakfast is the most important in a meal type breakfast, your cereal, your pancakes, your waffles, your oatmeal, you guys are seeing a theme. Your carb heavy meal, that's going to kick up your carbohydrates, and then it's going to kick up your insulin. Your body has to release insulin to bring that glucose down that came from those carbohydrates, okay? And then because you had such a high carb meal, you're going to actually want to snack a couple hours later because your sugar's going to drop and now you're going to want to snack. That's how carbohydrates do us. Then you turn around and do something for lunch. If it's a sandwich, if it's a wrap, it's going to kick up your carbohydrates again and thus your glucose, making your pancreas release insulin. Okay, same thing with the afternoon snack, same thing with dinner, same thing with that dessert. And what happens is your insulin level never gets all the way down back to normal. So you're bathing your cells in insulin. Now, in nature, our carbs were supposed to help us handle this, meaning they were supposed to have their fiber to where they wouldn't shoot up such a crazy spike and make us have to release so much insulin. But unfortunately, with all our processed foods, I mean, now whoever eats wild rice anymore or brown rice, not as much. We're missing the fiber in this white rice. So we're missing the health benefit that we were supposed to have, okay? And why is it important to have our fiber? Digestive health helps you with weight management. Actually, it helps decrease the blood sugar, dampens the effect, so that way it can decrease the amount of insulin the pancreas has to release, and thus helping your cells become more insulin sensitive. And the reality is our modern day food environment is what's kicking our butt. It's not entirely our fault until we know better. But these processed foods, things that are bagged, barcoded, and boxed, are no one's friend. I don't care what diet you want to do. Nobody needs to be eating those. They have all these additives and colors and preservatives and so much sugar that they are dang near addictive. Actually addictive. They actually spike your sugar so much that they spike a dopamine response. And that dopamine response, that's that high feeling. And so as soon as that drops back down again, the sugar drops back down again, you're looking for it again. So that's why you feel like you can't eat just one. So 5 things you can do immediately. Okay. I like to say, yeah, this is not going for me. 5 things you can do immediately. Okay. Look, avoid the processed carbs, like I already said. Actually prioritize your protein and do your veggies. Those are things you can actually do to help dampen those carbohydrate spikes. And then doing your resistance training, increasing the fiber, like I already said, and doing the fasting. Fasting is huge. I wanted to go back, but I didn't want any mess ups with that. So when you look at the fasting, we're trying to get past that 16 hours to 17 hours so we can tap into autophagy. That's when healing happens. That's when your cells reboot. That's when you get rid of repair process that are damaged. That's huge. Okay. So the point is, like Jim and I were saying earlier, having something that allows you to be more consistent or to make this be more sustainable is everything. And so what if there's something that allows you to do those 5 things easier? It is the natural products we like. So GLP-1 is a hormone we already have in our body. It reduces cravings, it balances blood sugar, and improves digestion. And Big Pharma figured out about this. And so they made this product that actually binds to a receptor. It's a GLP-1 receptor agonist. So it binds to a receptor that GLP-1 binds to. It pretends like it's your GLP-1 hormone. And it boosts that level to a crazy amount and brings along some baggage with it, meaning some side effects. It was originally made for type 2 diabetes, but then they found out, oh my gosh, people are losing weight on this. Let's give it to everybody. But what happens is it puts you at risk for thyroid cancer, gut paralysis, gut perforation. That's a hole in your gut. You kind of need your gut not to have a hole in it, right? And then, the thyroid cancer, that's enough right there. But blindness, and there's an article that came out April 1st talking about how there's so many recent hospital admissions and ER visits just on these shots alone. And then after 1 year, you can lose your muscle and bone. We need that too, especially after you get in your 40s. You can't be losing that stuff. You need it. And when you lose your muscle and you gain your weight back, because that's what happens when you don't really make the changes, you're going to gain more fat than you had before. That's why so many people are like, oh my gosh, I did this for 3 months. I lost 20 pounds, but now I've gained back 40. Yeah, it's because you've lost your muscle. Then the second issue is after 2 years, what you're taking this for to decrease the cravings, decrease the food noise. After 2 years, it stops working as well and you need another medication. or increase it in the dosage. So let's boost our GLP-1 naturally, okay? And so that's what the Unimate does. It enhances that GLP-1 production, helps curb the cravings, helps with the energy, no side effects, and you don't have to do any shots for it. You just drink it. And so I am on here speaking up, talking about this one because we have great studies. I love the science that Jim is going to go into. He likes to act like he's just, the host, but he speaks about the science so well. So I can't wait to hear what he's going to say today. And then you get these texts from people that are enjoying what they're doing. I mean, I have one of my people on here. I really should have put hers up here who really just threw me a loop with her. What did she tell me? She said her glucose was 98 for the first time ever. And that was yesterday. It was so low to her that she started feeling like she was dizzy or lightheaded. But that's not low. That's just because her sugars were high before, but she's been having such great results that she didn't even understand what that meant. She felt and it was like, this feels bad. Then she checked her numbers. She was like, this is 98, best ever I've had in years. That's the kind of stuff that makes this worthwhile. Then you get to see people have great results. So we get to help people reverse their blood sugar, reverse their cholesterol, their blood pressure. We get to feel like superheroes. At least I do every day. And you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Dr. Tiffany Marie. That's just me.
It's the superhero. It's the cape, really. I think that's what does it. It's the cape. You deserve a cape. You need a cape.
Yes, I think so too.
In fact, I think I'm going to see you in like a month.
I think we all do.
You a cape. I think I'm going to bring you a cape.
Oh.
We'll see. You're amazing.
Get ready.
So yeah, we're making good time today. I think I do want to dig into a little bit of the normally I feel like we run out of time, and so I'm not able to go as much into some of the science on some of these things. So I think I want to do that here. But before I do, tell us about Alexia.
Yes. So I really spent more time with her mother, but this is a lovely young lady who has a wonderful story of her own. But I love getting in touch with people who aren't near my age, right? Because my age, we understand. It's time to start dealing with these sugar issues, right, Jim? Because you're only 4 days.
We are not in the same age bracket. For those of you who don't know, she is considerably older than me.
4 days. 4 days. Anyway, so the point is, when we're trying to deal with these things ahead of time, preventatively, because that's what family medicine is about, it's important for us, the younger people, to get, okay, look, I need to be doing something. I'm feeling this way, and this is not right. And that's what she figured out, and here she is telling us about it.
Well, hi. My name is Alexia Perry, and a little about my story. I'm 32. And technically, 32-year-olds, we having the same issues y'all having with the whole insulin resistance sugar situation. It's a thing. But I have been diagnosed with PCOS since I was about 17 years old. And so in my younger years, the side effects really didn't bother me as much, but the older I got, kind of the worse it got. I had a bout with COVID in 2021. Went down real bad, was on oxygen, pulmonary embolism in my lung. It was really bad. And I could not fully get back to myself after that. And so on top of having the PCOS symptoms, it was me trying to get my body back in general, just trying to feel alive again, if that makes sense. So with the PCOS, I had constant fatigue. Tired all the time, having energy crashes. I had blood work done. They checked my thyroid. They was like, nothing's wrong. And I'm like, something's wrong. I am exhausted all of the time. So with the energy crashes, I can eat. A couple of hours later, I started getting the shakes, started feeling really weak, nauseous, and just my stomach would be completely empty, like I hadn't eaten in 2 days, just this hollow hunger. And in order for this to go away, I would have to eat again. Keep in mind, I already ate. I have to eat something again to kind of get these symptoms to subside so I can feel a little normal again. And a lot of this would happen when I was at work. It's very inconvenient. Another thing I was dealing with, which I didn't know it was mood swings at the time. I thought, hey, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. But that happened a lot. And so I was like, these might be mood swings, anxiety. those type of things. Taking hours to like fully wake up. You know how some people need a cup of coffee before they can kind of deal with their coworkers? I needed time. Needed time before I can like want to deal with people, because I would wake up and feel like terrible. Like I slept for hours. It's not like I didn't get enough sleep. I'm exhausted still. So I was dealing with that. After eating, I dealt with a lot of bloating, indigestion, almost with every meal, heartburn. So I'm hungry, I'm eating. After I'm eating, I'm miserable. I feel drained after I eat. So that was a problem as well. I had intense cravings, especially for carbs and sugar. And sometimes that went uncontrolled. It's like, okay, I had a snack and I need another snack. Now I need another snack. Like nothing was hitting the spot. And I really struggled with feeling full and satisfied after meals too, if that makes sense. Like I can have a meal, but eventually I need snacks. And I never felt satiated for the most part. So now I'm overeating. Brain fog and difficulty focusing at my age. And I'm just like, what is it? Like, what's going on? And so when you stay in a state of dragging, exhaustion, tired, no energy, it starts to mess with your memory too. Your ability to like, okay, I walked in this room. What did I come in here for? Like that seems like something older people should be dealing with. Like, oh, why did I? But I was dealing with this. So I'm like, what is going? Am I aging quicker? Like, what's going on? Yeah. So anyway, my mama introduced me to Unicity, and she said, I think I have something that'll help. And I really didn't believe her, but I was gonna try it. Gave it a try. First dose, I felt completely different. And I said, oh, I haven't felt this alive in a while. I'd always feel. I was like, dang, I feel like I'm just existing. Like I don't feel like myself. That's what I was telling my husband. Like, I don't feel like myself. That's the only way I could put it. Like, I remember the vibrant me, and this is not it. I feel like a shell of myself right now. I don't know what this is. So once I tried it, I literally felt great. You know, when she said it's the feel good system, feel great system, and I was like, they talking this product up. I don't believe this. Anyway, tried it, and I said, okay, I see why. That's the name of the website. They coined it perfectly, because you actually feel great on this product. And it's not just from a energy standpoint. It's your mood, it's your overall internal environment. It's kind of like calm and at peace. You can focus, and you're not dealing with the I want to say like the inner trauma of what's going on the inside of you, because this product kind of calms all that down. Yeah. So since I've been on the product, I've noticed steady moves, steady energy. I feel better after meals, even meals that are higher in carbs. There was a time where if I ate something, I'm tired afterward. You don't really want to go out, because after you eat, you know you're gonna be sleepy. Me and my husband was going to a friend's house, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do pizza." So I'm like, as much as I want the pizza, I'm gonna eat the pizza, but after I eat this pizza, my night is gonna be over. I'm not gonna want to be over there anymore. I'm gonna be tired. So I'd ordered my favorite Domino's deep dish, Alfredo sauce, extra cheese, chicken, and bacon. That's my thing. I ate the pizza, and I felt the same afterwards. I had energy, I was vibrant. I was just like, this unicity is very different. It has actually changed my quality of life when it comes to eating, not just healthy stuff. Like even when you want to step out and eat like pizza or something higher in carbs, like I don't crash like I was doing. Yeah. What else do I have to
She
add?
is spot on. Great testimony.
Mm-hmm. Um, it has regulated my energy, my digestion, my mood, cravings. I'm less frustrated around eating, because it sucks to be hungry, eat, can't be satisfied, bloated afterwards, miserable, and you got to do the whole thing again the next day. Because who wants to start shaking because you're hungry? Or, yeah. Yeah, so this product has changed my quality of life for sure. And so I'm able to now like kind of manage the PCOS symptoms instead of letting them manage me. I feel like I'm more in control over my body and more in control of what I'm putting in my body. Yeah.
I love this. Well, and you know, truthfully, so you're 32.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the mid to late 20s myself, kind of just falling through life, kind of just like stumbling through. It was like this haze, you know. I would wake up and then it was like Monday, you know, and it was like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess we're going to work now. And then I would seemingly wake up and then it was Friday and then it was, you know, 2004 and then it was 2012 and it was just that like this haze. And yeah, you're spot on. I've never really worded it like the way that you did. I also like the fact, and I'm pretty sure that every guy listening heard you say something about mood swings, and I'm thinking that women, this Dr. Tiff, we're going to need you to go into detail on the mood swings and insulin resistance. I got a post coming out. I'm going to do a post.
Yeah, we need to do a separate show for that. Not just playing.
It's a thing.
Okay, Alexia, that was amazing. Dr. Tiff?
That was great. I love it. See, you don't have to be old as Jim to be able to benefit from these products.
It's because I look the oldest. I'm not.
Okay.
Alexia, I'd like to bring you back here in a little bit for anybody that might have questions for you.
Okay, I'll be here.
You're a rock star.
Yes.
And we got a little bit of time here, Dr. Tiff. I want to dive in.
Yes.
Okay, so you have that slide that shows like ferulic acid and chlorogenic acid, and I want to talk about chlorogenic acid.
Yep.
Because I feel like, yeah, we should. So chlorogenic acid is a naturally occurring polyphenol. And by polyphenol, it's just something that occurs in vegetation. We find it in various fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, all sorts of things. It is especially abundant in tea, and it is most abundant in nature in a green coffee bean. And by green coffee bean, I mean unharvested or unroasted, not roasted, freshly harvested. So I want to talk about chlorogenic acid. And first off, I want to share my screen. And this is just a simple Google search. Does chlorogenic acid reverse insulin resistance? And just Google's little AI tool, which is, by the way, that's pretty cool. Yes, chlorogenic acid can help reverse insulin resistance. And then there is a boatload of research on this topic. And I would really suggest, you know, I'm a big fan of do your own research. Go do your research. Chlorogenic acid. What are the roles of chlorogenic acid on regulating glucose and lipids metabolism? Chlorogenic acid improves glucose tolerance, effects of ingesting both catechins and chlorogenic acids. There's a lot of research on this. Now, once again, what foods have chlorogenic acid? Go to Google and ask Google what foods have it. Well, chlorogenic acids are found in coffees, like I mentioned, green teas like yerba mate, apples. It's very abundant in apples and pears, all sorts of foods. This study right here. So this is PubMed. It's from NIH.gov. It's an official website of the United States government. The effects of chlorogenic acid on blood pressure. So real quick, just asking the audience, how many of you have a blood pressure problem? Maybe your blood pressure is a little bit high. Just put a yes or no in the comment section. I'm curious how many of you guys have a blood pressure problem. This study right here, this is what they call a systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized clinical trials. And that's a big deal. And what they found, in conclusion, the evidence from published randomized clinical trials suggests that chlorogenic acid intake causes statistically significant reductions in systolic and diastolic blood pressures. Basically, we got all sorts of proof. Chlorogenic acid helps lower blood pressure. This study right here, chlorogenic acid improves glucose tolerance, lipids metabolism, inflammation, and microbiota composition in diabetic mice. So this is a really interesting study. In this study, the methods in the current study, diabetic mice were administered chlorogenic acid or metformin. Metformin, of course, is the #1 prescribed medication for type 2 diabetes. And they found the results showed that chlorogenic acid decreased body weight, so it aided in weight loss, and improved glucose tolerance and insulin resistance, so it helped improve insulin resistance. And these effects were similar to those of metformin. And I think that's a very, very powerful statement right there. This one here, similar, kind of just supporting that last one. Roles of chlorogenic acid on regulating glucose and lipids metabolism. This one's a review. They would go down and go so far as to say, well, did I already pass it by? I did. There it is. For example, it is reported that daily consumption of 3 to 4 cups of decaffeinated coffee containing high contents of chlorogenic acid significantly reduced the risk for type 2 diabetes by 30%. That is a massive, massive number.
Wow.
Chlorogenic acid is a novel insulin sensitizer that potentiates insulin action similar to the therapeutic action of metformin. And then, of course, Dr. Tiff was talking about the GLP-1 aspect. This study right here, a chlorogenic acid-induced increase in GLP-1. Indeed, there is recent evidence that coffee increases production of the incretin hormone glucagon-like peptide 1. So, let's dig in here. I want to look for here. So what is Unicity Unimate? Well, Unimate is a yerba mate extract. And if you're unfamiliar with yerba mate is a tea that's been consumed in South America for the better part of 500 to 1,000 years. It's been pretty heavily industrialized in North America for the last 120 years or so. Now, yerba mate is very high in chlorogenic acid. And what Unicity does is takes that yerba mate, that yerba leaf, they still fire roast it in a very similar way to the way that it's been done for centuries. But then they stop the traditional process and they extract the good things that we want, like chlorogenic acid and theobromine and mate saponins and the good stuff. And then they concentrate it and then they purify it. They get rid of the things that we don't want, things like pesticides and heavy metals that occur naturally in plants. And you'll see just on their product brochure, the result is a proprietary extract that enhances the benefits of yerba mate and contains up to 10 times the amount of chlorogenic acids or feel-good elements found in a typical cup of coffee and 20 times the chlorogenic acids that are found in other commercially available yerba mate products. And that's kind of a big deal because yerba mate is gaining traction right now and it's an amazing tea. Unimate is in a league of its own. Each little packet of Unimate represents about 20 cups of yerba mate. It's not the same. Now, Unimate, this particular tea, was in a published research paper, October of 2023. This study right here, and this study was actually done by Professor Dr. Ben Bickman. He's a professor of cell biology and physiology at Brigham Young University. And actually, our wonderful Dr. Tiffany is a coach for Dr. Bickman, Insulin IQ. That's not something that just gets handed out. If we don't praise Dr. Tiff enough, she really is one of the best in the world at this. So Ben Bickman studied Unimate and, well, specifically Unimate. See, he looked at Unicity's mate, and what he found was that it basically made us a more efficient fat burner. It made us burn fat better. And who doesn't want to burn fat better? But then more than that, Dr. Bickman also was in a podcast just after he published that, and he was talking about the GLP-1 effect with Unimate.
That I'll be sharing at a meeting in March in Las Vegas is that this yerba mate supplement called Unimate also increases GLP-1. We found in this experiment we did, the GLP-1 levels went up by about 70% in a fasted states, which is pretty considerable. That I'll be sharing at a meeting.
That's a big deal. That's a real big deal. Now, Dr. Tiff talked a little bit about some of the side effects, but I want to dig into that. The side effects of the GLP-1 receptor agonists, and let's call a spade a spade. We call Mounjaro, we call Ozempic, we call them GLP-1, but they are not GLP-1. They are GLP-1 receptor agonists. It's a synthetic form of GLP-1. GLP-1 is a hormone that's produced in your gut. It's something that your body makes naturally. That hormone is stimulated by things like yerba mate, heavily stimulated by things like Unimate. But if we're going to talk about the GLP-1 receptor agonists and some of the potential side effects, this study right here, glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor agonists associated with gastrointestinal adverse events. So, Dr. Tiff, gastroparesis is a paralyzing of the stomach muscle, correct? Now, in this study, they found that 5.1% of the people who were on one of those got gastroparesis. That's 1 in 20. That is a massive number of people. That's a massive number. And Dr. Tiffany, is there really, there's no backing out gastroparesis. Once it's paralyzed, your stomach is paralyzed, it's paralyzed for life. No, is this a lifelong condition, right?
Yeah, I mean, fasting can help. People on these products get some results, but outside of that, yeah, that is not heard of.
Yeah. So, and 1 in 20, and it's an awful condition. 1 in 20 is a very high number. And then this study here, let's see, where is it at? This study right here, GLP-1 receptor agonists and the risk of thyroid cancer. Now, in this study, they actually found that they had a 58% increase of risk of thyroid cancer and a 78% increased risk of medullary thyroid cancer. And if you just go to their websites, let me just
it's there.
Mounjaro.
Nobody's hiding it.
Yeah. So right now I'm just at the Google and just pulling up their website. If you go, you'll see at the very bottom, it says, warnings, Mounjaro may cause tumors in the thyroid. It's right there. And so what we have is a product that increases GLP-1 naturally. Dr. Ben Bickman, that's what we want to do. No side effects. No side effects. Certainly not 1 in 20 getting gastroparesis or a 58% increased risk of thyroid cancer. Now, let me dive into the fiber really quick, okay? To do that, I want to pull up this study right here. And this is it's an article I found on PubMed, Closing America's Fiber Intake Gap. And they say adequate intake of dietary fiber is associated with digestive health and reduced risk for heart disease, stroke, hypertension, certain gastrointestinal disorders, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers. They would go on to say that 95% of us don't get our recommended daily intake of fiber. That is an obnoxiously high number. Only 5% of us get the recommended daily intake. That's such a low number. Now, if we go over to Google and just ask Google, what is the top heart hospital in the United States? Overwhelming, it says Cleveland Clinic. And if you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see U.S. News ranked at number 1. Statista ranked it as number 2, right behind the Mayo Clinic and right in front of Mass General. However you want to slice it and dice it, the Cleveland Clinic is one of the best heart hospitals out there. Now, let's talk about Unicity Balance. What is Unicity Balance? This is their product page, and you can find all of this, by the way, at unicityscience.org. And if you go to the links to purchase the product, you can pull up the product information and see these for yourself. But Balance is a patented blend of 7 different plant-based fibers and a multivitamin. As you scroll down, you can see the ingredients. And you'll see it's got vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E. It's a full B complex, and it's got thiamine and riboflavin, chromium, and then it's got the 7 different plant-based fibers. Now, why does that matter? This study right here, published in September of 2002 by the Cleveland Clinic, looked at the fiber and multivitamin combination therapy. Does it really matter? Here is the actual publication in Metabolism journal. And then this is the full text, fiber and multivitamin combination therapy. And you'll notice this was done at the preventative cardiology section of the Cleveland Clinic in 2001. It was published in 2002. They looked specifically at BioSlife, which is another name for balance, our fiber here. And then they looked at LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol. And they saw massive improvements kind of across the board there. So much so that they would go on to say, such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis and potentially decrease the need and or dose for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. And I like to pick on that right there because we know that insulin resistance is the problem. We know that insulin resistance is what's kind of causing all of these chronic health conditions, right? Well, this study right here, assessing the link between statins and insulin intolerance. How many people are listening to me right now that are on a statin, like a torvastatin or rosuvastatin or simvastatin, pravastatin, fluvastatin, Lipitor, Crestor, Zocor? What have I missed, Doc? If you're on one of those, just type I am. I'm curious how many people are on one of those.
Mm-hmm.
This study right here asks the question, do they cause insulin resistance? And they looked at nearly 47 million participants. The findings suggest that the use of statins is associated with a decrease in insulin sensitivity and insulin resistance. Those statin medications are causing insulin resistance. And the curious part of that is that insulin resistance is a greater predictor for heart disease than LDL cholesterol. And so we're taking a statin to lower our LDL, and it's making us insulin resistant, which is actually a greater predictor for heart disease than the LDL cholesterol we're taking it to lower. Coming back to that study from the Cleveland Clinic, such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk, that's heart disease, on a population basis, that is everybody, and potentially decrease the need and or dose for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. Those are statins. So more than 20 years ago, the Cleveland Clinic was telling us that, hey guys, there's something out here. There is another solution out there. So how do we do this? How do we put this entire thing together? There is an option for flavors on your tea. This is the lemon. This is the lemon ginger. Now, the ginger has a little bit of that ginger snap, that bite. If you guys know that spice flavor to it. Mm-hmm. If you don't like that, then I would order the lemon. Personally, I do like that, so I order one of each. When I wake up in the morning, the very first thing I do is I fill my little Yeti tumbler thing here, 30 ounces, with hot water, like coffee hot, whatever that is hot. 130 is my actual number here. 130 degrees is the number that I like. But whatever number you like hot, I'm that way, Dr. Tiff. But you knew that. I fill this thing with hot water. I add one of the packets. I stir it up, and I sip on this for 2 or 3 hours. It will take me 2 or 3 hours to drink a hot tea. When I'm done with it, I immediately drink my second one. Sometimes I drink that one hot. Sometimes I drink it cold. It's just the way that it is. It'll take me into the early afternoon before I'm done with that second one. And when I get to lunch, my appetite, because of all of that, my appetite is about this big, you know. So eat your lunch. Now, immediately before your biggest meal of the day as far as carbohydrate intake, so whichever one is the heaviest carb meal, lunch or dinner, you take a balance. And balance is available in both mixed berry and orange. I'm still team orange, but I love mixed berry. What are you, Dr. Tiff?
I like mixed berry.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of tastes like a Jolly Rancher.
Yep.
Yeah. So immediately before you eat your heaviest meal, whether that's lunch or dinner, if you're going to have pasta as an example, that meal, immediately before that one, mix this up, drink it fast, cold water, drink it as fast as you can, and then enjoy your meal. And when I talked earlier about this being a sustainable It's so easy. That is the entire system. And so if you want to order the products, get with the person who brought you to this live stream. They have a link. They will share their link with you. You'll get their pricing. You'll get member pricing. And give this thing 90 days. Don't do it with 90-day mindset. They do accept HSA and FSA. Boy, I'm getting some feedback.
Yes.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
They do accept
not bad,
HSA and FSA. And go into it with a 90-day mindset. It'll change your life. This will just change your life. It's absolutely the best product on the planet. It's so easy. So,
very easy.
What did I miss, Dr. Tiff? Have I missed anything?
No, I think you did pretty good. I mean, there's a 90-day money-back guarantee. We can't leave that part out.
Yep, I think I missed that one.
Oh, and we have one more day to be able to opt into that whole A1C study, too. If you actually order your subscription, one more day. Tomorrow is the actual last day to where you can actually join in the study if you meet the qualifications.
I love it. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to bring back our guests and ask the audience to give us any questions, whether they're for either Stacy or Alexia or Dr. Tiff, or if you really are digging deep, you got me too. Ask any of us any questions. And while we're waiting, I want to ask everybody that's on the system to do me a favor and just give your brief little story on the product. A couple lines. Don't embellish or anything like that, but what has the system done for you personally? And I'm looking over on TikTok. Carla says, I love the ginger. Tarpon Tamer over on TikTok. His name is Bruce. What's up, Bruce? Okay. Anybody have any questions at all? Let's see. I'm not stopping the protocol, but was just a little frustrated. I feel so much better on this. Thank you for the help on this. You are welcome, Cynthia.
Yeah, Cynthia had
that was you. That was you that responded to her, Dot. Okay.
Yeah, she had a question that really is out the scope of what we can talk. That's like a one-on-one conversation. And that's what's so great about these products is you get linked with a sponsor to walk you through these things. You don't have to feel alone.
Let's see. Over on TikTok, Wellness Decoded, 8 weeks, down 22 pounds, depression gone, inflammation gone, sugars down from 250 to 190. That is awesome. Carla Jean says, more energy, feeling full. Bill says they sent LC Pro with the last order. What is it for and how do I take it? So, Bill, add it to about 8 to 10 ounces of, it's 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 ounces of cold water. Mix it up really good. And I've been eating that. I've been drinking it after some certain lunches. If the lunch, I don't feel full, but I don't want to go and make something else. It's just kind of a protein. It's whey. It's a great whey supplement. Great protein. And it tastes really good too. Okay, so I'm going to go through and pin. I've been on it almost 2 weeks okay, so let me see. I'm just looking for any more. Dr. Tiff, you tell me if anybody asks any questions. So I'm going to start pinning.
I didn't see any more questions.
Some, and I'll read them. I joined a little late tonight. I've been on it almost 2 weeks and can tell a difference. Debbie, that's amazing. You're just getting started. It's just getting started for you, Debbie.
Yep.
Tanya dropped 40 pounds, lowered blood pressure, more energy, and no more joint pain.
Awesome. Yes, I love it.
Sheena talking about gastroparesis, reversed gastroparesis, blood pressure is normalized, cholesterol down 34 pounds, inflammation, never be without it.
Right.
No more migraines, acid reflux, no more neuropathy, lost inches and some weight. No more neuropathy. That's one we don't talk enough about.
Yeah.
Neuropathy. That just plagues people. Kim Carr, love it. Weight loss has been my biggest reward so far. 63 pounds down since January 20.
Whoa. That is so awesome, Kim.
Yeah. We had her in here, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
That was a tearjerker.
Yeah.
And by the way, Facebook has begun to drop these live streams after like a month or month and a half, something like that. But they stay up on YouTube. They also stay up on Twitter.
Yeah.
And so go watch them on YouTube. And if you're looking to kill some time, you're on a road trip or a plane or something like that, go watch some of the old live streams. We've had such amazing testimonials in here.
Yeah, we have.
Reverse diabetes and neuropathy. Feel like I'm in my 20s, says Lindy. From the YouTube, Sherry, lowered my morning blood sugar, lost 6 pounds, no more pain from degenerative discs. Wow.
Yeah. I love those because actually she's, one of my people.
That's
and she
awesome.
just texted me one day and was like, "Oh, I'm not hurting anymore, really." That's the stuff I like to hear. It's the surprise.
Charlene Moore, it has made fasting easy. That's the biggest. That's the big, most underrated statement here, right? LC Pro, yes, it is ordered separately. They did send out some samples with the kits. I did just order mine. I'll show you what it comes in.
Oh, did you? I haven't ordered any.
I like it.
Samples.
I like it a lot. You get a little.
When
you order it, you get a jug like that. I like it. That jug will last me quite a while. It's more of like maybe a treat. If I have a smaller lunch and I'm still a little bit hungry, I'll go for some of that. I really like the flavor, and it's good for you. Let's see. Sherry says, and I've only been using the protocol for 11 days.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shelly, when you talked about gastroparesis, what about idiopathic gastroparesis? Will it help with that? Dr. Tiff.
That is a wonderful question. So I don't have any studies to go with that. But when you have people that have had gastroparesis for different reasons and they're having results, it most certainly becomes something that's worth trying, considering it's a 90-day money-back guarantee. But I haven't seen any specific studies on that entirely.
I actually went to high school with Rochelle Gee.
Oh, okay.
Known her for a little while. Tony, A1C from 10.7 to 6.3, normalized blood pressure and cholesterol down 40 pounds and 21 inches, all in my first 90 days.
Nice.
Rhonda says she likes the LC Pro with milk. I'm not going to lie. So do I. It's delicious with milk.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I believe. Oh, here's an interesting one. Lindy, I'm off my BiPAP.
That's a good one right there.
My mother is off her BiPAP too.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Ladies, this was amazing. No questions coming in. I think your testimonials must have just done all the work. Stacy, if you know as well as anybody, there's a lot of people that are skeptical. They're sitting here, they're watching, they're thinking that this is too good to be true. You got 30 seconds. You're talking to them. What do you say to that person?
Oh, well, first of all, I'm the oldest. I am 50, so I got you beat. But I would tell them that this protocol has changed my life, saved my life. I was a shell of a person. Like was said earlier, I was absolutely miserable. This gave me hope, and it gave me a vision, and it gave me my life back. And I've lost weight, but that's not even what it is. It's the way I feel inside my body. Okay. I actually enjoy being in my skin for the first time in my life. I've hated myself forever. And this company with the products and all it's done for me has changed me into someone completely different than I was last July. So it's worth every second of it, and you're worth it too.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate. I've gotten to watch that transformation, and I love it. It's been amazing.
Oh.
Alexia, same
Yes,
question to you. Somebody sitting here, they're watching you. They're thinking that this is too good to be true. What are you going to say to them?
I'm going to say I was a skeptic as well. Because when my mom said that, I did not believe her. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And I tried it, and literally the first dose, I was like, I've never experienced anything like this before. I don't know. I said, what is in this? What am I drinking? What is this? So I would encourage them to just try it. Just give it a chance. It's a great investment.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, ladies. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Dr. Tiff. I see one here. Sheena Burton, okay. I'm very happy with my vitamins that are all natural. Thank you, though. So just a little bullet point there is that this is a multivitamin in balance, and there are lots of amazing things that are all natural in the tea as well. Just an FYI. Bill, I actually had a chance to meet Bill. This gentleman is amazing. My A1C 7.2 today, 6.3. No blood meds. Was taking 5.
Wow.
22 pounds. All this in 5 weeks. Oxygen was 87.
Oh.
Now 94. Thank you for talking to me in Belmont 2 weeks ago. God bless. I actually got to talk to Bill a couple of weeks ago, and an amazing gentleman. Nice guy. The Southern hospitality is real. He's a heck of a nice guy, but those are amazing numbers in 5 weeks, Dr. Tiff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, entirely. I mean, that is awesome.
What do you say to those people, Dr. Tiff? The skeptics.
Well, you know what I say to the skeptics? I say, I don't even talk to the skeptics that much, because it's just like, you know what? Go and look this up. You're such a skeptic. Go do the research. Go look at the science. Is it worth being in the state that you're in? Is it worth feeling how you feel? How great would it be to be able to go to your doctor's office and have your blood pressure better, your sugar better, your cholesterol better, and they're wanting to take you off of meds? If that's something you desire, screw the skepticism. It's a 90-day money-back guarantee. It's worth trying. You can't put a price on your health. That's what Sherry says over there. She's 100% right. You can't put a price on your health.
Spot on. And there's just nothing to lose. You were just nailing it. There's nothing to lose. Everything to gain, nothing to lose. If you're not happy, ask for a refund. They'll give you all your money back. So, Dr. Tiff, this was an amazing live stream. Thank you very much. You are amazing.
Thank you.
I don't know that I praise you enough, but you really are. She's one of the best of the best. And she takes time out of her week to come and be with us, unpaid, just sharing her knowledge. So, Doc, I know I appreciate you, and I think everybody else does as well. So we will see you next week.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody.